From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
What's going on, nerds, and welcome to this week's episode of the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast, and we are talking about a little fun adventure we had just about 2 weekends ago down in Philadelphia at the Franklin Institute. Susie,
Woo-hoo!
What was it?
It's the 100 Years of Disney exhibition down at the Franklin Institute.
Yes, it was.
And we'll go to other areas.
Oh, we're talking about the whole place, not just the Disney part?
No, I'm saying that the exhibition will go to other places because the Harry Potter one's currently in New York City. So I was just saying that it will go to other places.
I thought it was just staying in Philadelphia. Because there's one in Philadelphia, there's one in London, and I think Munich.
Yeah, there's one a couple places. This one will probably travel after a couple of months. But definitely go check it out.
Susie, after we're done with this, you got to post a lot of those photos that you took to our nerds page.
Well, I gotta sort through them, but yeah, they'll be posted sometime between today and tomorrow.
Because it was a lot of fun, but let's get into it. Going into the exposition, I know I just said it wrong. My brain just exhibition.
There you go.
Sorry. Got the car stuck in my head. Or truck, whatever it's called. What was your headset going into it? Like, what were you expecting?
What I got?
Like, exactly?
So, not exactly, but this is my third time doing an exhibition at the Franklin Institute. So I kind of had an idea of what we were walking into. This was not my favorite exhibition that I've done at the Franklin Institute.
Harry Potter or Jurassic?
Jurassic. Jurassic was my favorite.
I feel like you brought home a pet dinosaur at that point.
I tried to get eaten by a velociraptor when I was there. That was fun.
What, it was like the shark thing where you put your head into the mouth?
No, they had a kind of like they do at Universal where they have Blue that comes out.
Yeah.
They had a velociraptor that came out and you could take pictures with it, and
Okay.
it was really cool. But I mean, I kind of had an idea walking into this, like what we were going to see, like what we were going to get into. I wasn't expecting the way it was set up. I'm not a huge fan of the way it was set up.
Neither was I. I didn't like the bottlenecks.
No, that's the way it's always been bottlenecked like that. I feel like they tried to cram too many people in at once instead of doing, like when we did Jurassic, there was a lot of people in there, but you were only in a room of like 30 people and you could easily move through the whole exhibit. When we did Harry Potter, we only were like, it wasn't as huge. Like we weren't cramped. I just felt like there was too many people. Like we were all trying to take photos of the same stuff. It was just.
You think they should have separated it out a little bit more?
Yeah, I feel like they should have staggered it a little bit better. So like our appointment was for like 1 o'clock, or like 1 or 2 o'clock. I feel like they should have waited, like, okay, 2 o'clock, that's fine, but we're gonna give them 15 extra minutes and then we'll send you guys through. So everybody's being sent through with like a 15-minute gap in between each group. Just something, because that was.
Yeah, I'm not like huge of like having crowd issues, but it was very claustrophobic until it opened up.
You can ask most of my family. I have huge crowd issues. I can tolerate it when it's my family because it's my family. I know them. I've known them for years, but like people that I don't know, It's why I don't stay long at parties. It's why I get in and get out different places. I don't like crowds. I don't like people.
That's why you're not going bowling tomorrow.
I'm sorry, what?
There's more to it than just that, and you know it.
I'm sorry? Did you say bowling?
I'm going.
You just opened up a can of worms, so thank you for that.
Whoops. Going bowling with some coworkers.
I'm jelly.
And Ethan.
Still
And
jelly.
I might end up going just so I'm not alone in the house, but
You'd rather be alone in the house. What are you talking about?
I don't get to be home alone in the house very often. I might take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'd like to hear your this was the first time you've done an exhibition at the Franklin. So I mean, like, I know like you and I have crowd issues. Like we don't like. You and I are the ones that there's people in our way at Disney. Bye.
Yeah.
We're weaving through the crowd.
I have no problem running an old lady over just because she stopped in the middle of a walkway. Oh, did I just incriminate myself? Crap.
Yeah, you did. But
Mwahahaha.
so I mean, this was Will's second one. I don't know how he felt, if this was better than when they did Harry Potter, if it was a little bit worse.
Harry Potter was a little better because Harry Potter was more interactive. There was more stuff you could actually physically interact with. Over Disney, you really only had like that book you could flip the pages.
I don't feel like there was that much you could interact with in Harry Potter either.
Well, to put your band up the thing and it did things.
That's about the only thing that it did. It like recorded. It was
really. That's still more than what we got here.
I interacted more with Jurassic than I did with either one of these two exhibitions.
Well, I didn't go to Jurassic, so how would I know? Explain that. I want logic and facts right now.
Okay, you're the one who brought up which one you interacted more with. I just said from my personal experience that Jurassic you interacted more with.
Well, that's cool.
Okay. The hell?
Y'all are kind of psychotic.
Here.
Just saying.
Hi, babe. Did you have a favorite, like, one of the things that I did like about this is it took you through the years, and I had forgotten a couple of things that Walt had done over the years.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
One of which being the Alice Adventures.
Oh God.
I had forgotten that he had done that.
Yeah, what were I actually never seen those before. Was that supposed to be like a weird, like, kind of like Alice in Wonderland, but not really?
Kind
it is
of?
Alice in Wonderland.
But they're like shorts.
Yeah, it's shorts. It is Alice in Wonderland, but it's definitely shorts. They're very interesting. Worth the watch if you ever get to, but remember that these are really old cartoons.
And they are dated.
They are very dated.
And I mean, Alice herself is a real person, so at least that's what it looked like in the scenes.
Yes, you are correct.
Who took pay cuts to help Disney survive?
Hey, I told you that one.
Ah, see, I do listen to you.
Until she became too old.
Yep.
Or too old looking.
But I mean, I have pictures of the timeline through it. But I want to say that I think my favorite was going through and being able to see the storybook that they use in Sleeping Beauty, the storybook that, like, the different things that that we could see through, we've seen in movies and everything else. And then Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm.
It's the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that like reference Pinocchio was it's a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was cool. Like, that was really cool that they had that. But like, it was creepy looking because it was like ancient.
Yeah, it was a sight to behold, for sure.
Honestly, my favorite part of that whole exhibit probably had to be when we got into the parks section.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as I love the movies and everything, I'm a huge park fanatic.
I don't think the park should have been in it.
Why not? They're part of Disney.
Well, because I thought the Disney 100 was supposed to be more of a focus on the animation. It's been 100 years since Disney animation started.
park shouldn't have been in it.
Why not?
Each park has its own little quirk and everything else. And yes, Disney started it all, and this was really a history of Disney. And the 100 Years Exhibition was like a history of Disney.
Yeah.
However,
one more thing.
There's a butt here.
There's a huge freaking butt here. If you're going to do a whole thing about Disney and include the parks, then the parks also needed to be through the entire exhibition and not just at the tail freaking end where, you know, you couldn't even use the displays because the interactive didn't even work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my biggest complaint, was all their actual interactive things were broken.
Their pitch for this was it's 100 years of animation.
See,
the parks do not belong in 100 years of animation.
I didn't see the animation tagline. I did not see the 100 years of animation tagline.
That's the thing. The tagline isn't there. But that was the pitch behind doing it, is because it's 100 years. Let's go celebrate 100 years of Disney.
When you say it like that,
specifically Disney animation, because it's the 100 years of Disney animation. When they released this at D23, they're specifically trying to do all of this for 100 years of Disney animation. I'm very passionate about the fact that the park should not have been in there.
I mean,
that was the most boring section for me.
I mean, I absolutely love seeing the parks in there.
Here's the thing. Here's me being devil's advocate over here. If in the park section they showed a bunch of the animation they do in the parks, then that would have been better. But no, it was just this little section trying to show off all the parks around the world. It didn't even try to address them doing PhilharMagic, because that is animation, or any of the shows that they do at the parks that are animation.
Mm-hmm.
If they factored that in, boom, I would have had no issues with the parks being there. Or if they scattered it a little bit more throughout the thing, instead of making it this one room where the main part of the room that was supposed to be an interactive of showing you all the things about the Disneys around the world actually fucking worked. Sorry, I am a bit of a salty bitch because the interactive didn't work, and I really wanted to see some of the things that were at Disney Tokyo. Disney Tokyo.
To me, the parks aren't part of 100 years of Disney.
See, I think they are.
An extra bonus item that we can go to and experience the Disney World, but they're not. If that is Disney's pitch on be all end all, this is what we are, no. Because Disney for me is animation, it's live movies, it's Pixar, it's Marvel, it's Star Wars. I can keep going. Parks is not on that list. Parks are an extra bonus that you spend a crap ton of money to go to.
Worth it.
See, that's where you and I differ, because it's literally animation and then parks. Everything else underneath it.
Parks are only there for me because of family.
Nope. I can care less about the live action, Star Wars, or Marvel. I want the parks. I like the parks before they bought all that shit.
Yeah, but I didn't go to the parks until they bought all that shit, so...
Yeah, I was there about 12 times before that.
I grew up on the movies, so for me, Disney is not the parks. It's the movies, it's the TV shows, it's the merchandise, it's not the parks.
Oh, we got the merchandise all right.
Yeah.
The freaking whole thing ended in a freaking gift shop.
It was a Disney ride. We had to end up in a gift shop.
But yeah,
we did end up in the gift shop. Typical Disney fashion. We ended up in a gift shop.
I was making that joke the whole time.
Good job, Disney. High five.
Making that joke literally the whole time.
Yeah, you were. But we told you were going to end up in a gift shop.
And then I ended up in the gift shop first and went back and I was like, hey guys, guess what?
There's overpriced shit in here.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't that bad, if we're being honest. Some things were 100% super overpriced. Some of those things were bullshit, but then some of those things were I could go to Target and get it for the exact same price.
Did you want to pay $60 for a freaking poster, a paper poster?
Hence, I said some things were overpriced, some things weren't.
Yeah, but the things that were overpriced made no sense at being overpriced.
Bro, I'm not the Franklin Institute. I don't got control over that shit.
They have to make their money back somehow.
So what else you guys want to talk about and everything? Because that was my favorite. You guys obviously didn't like my favorite.
I think as an exhibition as a whole, I love the whole thing, but also I know part of my problem with the parks is I feel like part of the reason I feel like it should have been interspersed throughout the whole thing and not at the tail end of the exhibit. By the time we had gone to the tail end of the exhibit, me, the 11-year-old, Will, were done. We wanted out.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like the idea and the concept behind the exhibit, and I'm not saying that nobody should go to this exhibit. You absolutely should go. Like everybody's gonna have a different experience than us. But I think by the time that we had gotten to the park section, I was done. Like mentally, I was done. It was a lot of information. It was a lot of people, and it was the people overload that really killed me. Which is why the parks being in there really would not bother me if it was throughout the whole exhibit and not just at the tail end, where you really get like a glimpse of it. And I feel like if you're gonna show off the parks, you need to show where they took place in the Disney timeline and not just slap them at the end like they don't matter.
Yeah, I think that's my big issue with the park part was they made it feel like they didn't matter when the parks matter so much.
So what else do you guys want to cover? We've talked about our favorites. I'm guessing that was Susie's least favorite. But what else do we want to cover on it outside of telling people go check it out and have a good time for yourself?
Hold on.
The amount of the official props they had there actually surprised me.
Like the original books were like I was fangirling.
Yeah, like
over
that blew me away. I liked the little like tower thing they showed where they were showing like a lot of like the original concept art and a lot of like the source material of where they got these movies and stuff from. Like I actually saw a thing that showed I caught a glimpse of it. I wish I got a picture of it, but it showed Big Hero 6 from the comics.
Yeah.
It was like an image of comic Big Hero 6.
I think the coolest thing that I saw there from the parks section was the bobsled. I'll post these pictures. Was the bobsled and the what's the wrong way?
You leave that video of me out of it.
I will send it to you privately.
Ooh, that's a ride.
And the boat from Peter Pan.
Yes.
I love the fact that those were included.
See, I love the It's a Small World dolls. I really enjoyed seeing like the park concept maps that they had on the wall, like what originally they wanted. I did like the absolute full timeline. Oh, what?
I have the full timeline. Actually, I wanted to point out something that I noticed, and I think I pointed it out to you when we were walking through, and this is why I thought it was entirely animation. Is because as we're walking through, we see Snow White, we see Sleeping Beauty, we go all the way through, and it included Mary Poppins, which was great, by the way. But as you're walking through, you see props from the live action movie. So we saw the prop that's used for Winnie the Pooh from Christopher Robin, and we saw the props that were used in the live action Beauty and the Beast, but they didn't reference the live action Beauty and the Beast on the plaque. They referenced the animated version. And I thought that was kind of cool, is that they were paying, I guess, a kind of homage to the old while also introducing the new. I don't know if that's for like the younger generation who might not have seen the animated versions.
Could be.
I mean, but I thought that was really cool that they included not only the old, but they also included the new, with all of that.
Ooh, what about the original, like the concept sketches that were all over the place? Like, they were showing like the original, like recreations of the original sketches of a lot of the movies.
One of the rooms that we walked in was entirely like Sound of Music, and And when you walked along one of the walls, you saw all the sketches and you got to see the sheet music. And I think that was my favorite room.
Oh, with all the sheet music?
I really think that was my favorite room. But
I like that they had the things of sheet music, and those were actual books you could look through.
Yeah.
It. Like that was actually cool.
But I think that room has to have been my favorite. Doesn't help that I was standing in the room looking at AJ, who's looking at Captain America's shield, going, "Can I steal it?" And I'm looking at AJ, going, "AJ, they're playing your song."
Do I still have it down here?
Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to pick up Mia so I can go, "I present you."
Hello.
Oh.
I have it. I've got it. And nobody's gonna take it away from me. Shut up.
No, actually, I wanted to pull something up, so hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
No, it's... You'll understand my
Train of thought when we actually get there?
Yeah.
Your train of thought scares me.
My train of thought scares me, and it scares my boss, too. Because I tend to go squirrel on him. And he decided to go squirrel on me today.
Squirrel.
And I literally looked at my coworker and I went, he yells at me because I squirrel on him. And he just squirreled me.
Squirrel.
What? What just happened here?
Can no one comment on the fact that literally every time she said squirrel, I did the squirrel?
No, I was purposely ignoring it.
Oh wow, you're a
chipmunk.
You know you're a stinky.
So there are several phases to Disney animation, and as a podcast, we have decided to cover each era each week. We're combining the first two because they're so small that it would. If you do not stop sniffing my food, you're gonna.
Puppy, no. Puppy, bad.
Puppy, this is my food. Eat your
I know,
own.
he's trying to eat my fries, and I'm like, no.
I mean, to be fair, you do get a set of fries, for him.
Normally. So, but we're combining two of them. So, the first one would be Disney's Golden Age, which, I did a lot of research on this, so don't come at me if I'm missing something.
You're psychotic. It's fine.
It's perfectly fine. But technically Disney started with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
So that's where the Golden Age starts, and it ends with Bambi.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into wartime, and these are the two that will be condensed into one podcast episode. Wartime starts with Saludos Amigos and ends with the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Oh, there's only 6 movies in each of them.
Yeah, they're the smallest.
And we're just going to talk about our favorites.
We're just going to talk about our favorites. So
I've only seen one of those movies in wartime.
That's why we combine them. I've seen all of them. But I'm a nutcase, so I like movies.
This is true.
I like movies.
Nutcase.
So following wartime is the Silver Age, which starts with Cinderella and ends with Jungle Book. And I'll get years for when we actually do the podcast episodes. I just wasn't including it when I was trying to make the list.
Yep.
We have the Bronze Age, which starts with the Aristocats.
Yay! What?
Everybody
Everybody
wants to be a shit.
Have you seen all the memes and the parody videos of that where it's not that song, it's them jamming to Metallica or something?
Yeah, it's freaking great.
Yeah. So the Bronze Age starts with the Aristocats and ends with Oliver and Company.
It's another really good movie.
Then we go into the Renaissance.
All right, that's the one where that's probably going to be a 2.5-hour episode.
That is
it literally starts with
the Little Mermaid and it ends with Tarzan.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Tarzan is the last movie to come out before the 2000s, which then we enter the post-Renaissance, which, as you guessed it, is the 2000s, which starts with Fantasia 2000 and ends with Bolt.
Yeah.
Bolt.
And then we enter the Revival, which AJ and I will have a very deep discussion about how Princess and the Frog is turning into Splash Mountain is turning into Princess and the Frog.
You don't want to talk about it.
The revival starts with The Princess and the Frog and ends with Raya and the Last Dragon.
It's fine, guys.
I like the movie, but I felt like they could have done other shit instead of Princess and the Frog. Like, Pocahontas needs a ride.
Pocahontas does need a ride.
Why don't
Pocahontas' ride would be better fit for Animal Kingdom.
I would rather them do Princess and the Frog into like something with the gigantic ferry boat that goes around the lagoon.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But what else we got?
That's a fair point.
Because I feel like we've covered everything, and we're just saving everything for next Thursday.
We are saving a lot of things for next Thursday, because I have a lot to say about every single one of the movies in the first two sections. But I'm pretty sure I can't speak for AJ, but I can speak for my husband and say that I am the only one out of the two of us that have watched every single movie in the first two sections.
I have. The wartime era, it's been a long time, but I have.
See, I've watched everything in the Golden Age. I've watched everything except for the wartime. The wartime is the only era I have not seen every single movie.
So the wartime, you're not alone. So the wartime, because I know people that I've mentioned wartime movies, and I didn't know that there was an entire era for wartime.
Yeah.
No knowledge of it.
Walt Disney made animation as propaganda to get soldiers, like people.
I mean, Donald Duck is in the Navy.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what is
Yes.
that the thing about
Yes.
the Three Caballeros?
No.
But Donald Duck is in the Navy.
Yeah, in the Navy. Get it? Because he's a duck.
You're a
Whack.
duck.
But
Affleck.
like, I'll mention to somebody that about any of the movies in the wartime, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "How? What? How have I seen these and nobody else has?"
Again, you are psychotic.
I like movies. I like movies and I like books. That's why I have a big collection of both.
I like potatoes.
I like pizza. I like turtles.
I like Digimon.
I wonder if my movie collection is big enough that I could watch a movie a day and still not be bored.
Probably.
All right, so I think that pretty much concludes our first episode of the 100 Years of Disney. We talked about the Franklin Institute's exhibit, because fuck saying the rest of the word and fucking it up this time.
Exhibition.
Will, where can people find you?
I did forget about one. We have segregated one entire section, because guess what is not covered in the different sections of the Disney eras?
Oh, Pixar.
Oh.
So we have a history of Pixar to wrap everything up.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be my favorite outside of the Renaissance. I feel like Pixar is gonna be my favorite or second favorite. But where can people find you?
Our boys.
Who are you talking to?
Will?
Oh, are we doing where can we find?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on the Rift because I don't have D&D today, so I'm gonna meet.
Oh, what about you, Susie? Whoa, that came out of nowhere.
Ignore my dog that is begging me. Literally, he's sitting on my blanket, staring at me, going, "Mommy, please. Mommy, please.
But, Mommy, I want food.
But, Mommy, please." I'm such a mean mom. It's fine.
Where can people find you, Susie?
Working on a project for work.
Uh-oh. That sounds interesting.
It's a lot of fun. I'm actually enjoying myself, so.
Oh, that's a plus.
I have to sit and reword a couple of things, so I brought it home with me.
Well, here's Mr. Rob Paulson for me.
Hey, you guys, this is 625 here from Lilo and Stitch. Some people think of me as AJ Coppola. I don't care. Just follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, Twitch at NDTA Jalistar 15, and Xbox and PSN at AJ All-Star 15. I should have said AJ All-Star, but I'm a sandwich maker. What the hell do I know? Do yourself a favor. Go get yourself a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and ham sandwich. All right? Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
All right, everybody, that was our 100 Years of Disney episode. Join us next week when we talk about the Golden Age and the wartime era, whatever. What?
AJ, that's a wrong thing to say because you said the end of our Disney 100. This is the beginning of the Disney 100 arc. We are in the Disney arc now, boys. It is time for our shonen arc of Disney battles. I don't know.
This isn't an anime.
Fuck it up, okay? I'm sorry.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Triggered Will there.
Teach AJ how to speak next week.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.